But this is even more exciting. And I was more excited about this wonderful young lady joining us before our boss just said, this is what I want you to do, young lady. I want you to get Petros in an arm bar in front of all these people.
He did say that.
And so now I feel like I'm a weenie if I don't do it. So, well, let's talk to her first.
Well,
and we'll see what we can do about me physically engaging her.
She is an Olympian. She is a Pan-American champion.
Yeah, I've seen the tattoo.
So we are talking about fighting royalty, as a matter of fact. And she is going to be headlining, as a matter of fact, the UFC 157 out at Honda Center in Anaheim, February 23rd, with Henderson and Machida, as a matter of fact.
Here's
on that
the crazy
fight card
thing.
as well.
The UFC has never had a female fighter until now. And then that begs the question, like, if there's just one female fighter, who will she fight?
Exactly. And we now have that answer.
I mean, she just can't go up there versus air.
No.
I mean, she's good looking, but nobody's that good looking to go up there. You don't pay money for that thing. Is she just going to go up there and swing at nothing?
I don't know who this Liz Carmucci thinks she is, but she's not Ronda Rousey because she's here with us right now. It's RondaMMA.com. Ronda, how are you? Welcome.
I'm very good. How you guys doing?
Doing okay.
We're okay. But look at you. You're giving me the look already. Look, I don't want to fight you. I don't come. I just do sports talk radio. I already hate myself. Talk about how you became into this kind of fighting. A lot of people into boxing, but this is a new thing. A lot of people are very excited about the UFC. It's a fast-growing sport. How did you get involved in it, and where does the passion come from?
Well, I was in the last two Olympics in judo. I got a bronze in Beijing. Well, not the last two. The London happened, I guess. And, there's nothing really set in place for Olympians afterward. There's no scholarship program. There's no job placement. So
not even at the Home Depot?
No, only while you're competing you can work at the Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
I used to be a cashier actually over there, but now I don't think they have the program anymore. Anyways,
That's
I had
too
no
bad.
options, and the only skill I had was throwing people down and breaking their arms, and I couldn't really put that on a resume. And I decided,
fair enough.
Yeah, I decided to give the MMA thing a try, and it's working out.
Yeah, you seem to be flourishing in it. What was your meetings like with the UFC? I mean, were you a hard bargainer? I mean, did you put a fist down on Dana White? How did it work?
No. They pretty much, it was very, there wasn't much fighting involved. They were pretty much, hey, do you want to be in the UFC? And I was like, hell yeah. And then I can say hell, right?
Yes,
yeah,
you can.
Okay, I don't know how censored you guys are.
No, a little bit looser than TV.
We are censored. Censor yourself, but hell is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You can even say hellfire. You can even say Satan raining hellfire. It's no problem.
They all work.
Good to know my options. But yeah, there wasn't much of a fight over it. I was so happy to get the opportunity. I just jumped at it.
So how do you go from judo to the UFC, and how many women are now coming to the UFC? I mentioned the card. I mean, is this a growing sport? Is there a group of women fighting in the UFC yet? Or I guess, I know Strikeforce was out there as well. But where are we at now with women in this sport?
It is a growing sport. And, I think this fight has a lot what's it called? There's a lot at stake. If this fight's successful, then we're going to have a lot more women. If it just is a total flop, then we might not see it ever again. So this is an extremely important card.
Are the guys embracing you?
Most of the guys are. Apparently, Dan Henderson's camp doesn't think that I deserve.
What's his problem?
Yeah, he did not have flattering things to say.
I know.
He must be intimidated by you. I am, certainly.
I'm just saying, if I was Dan Henderson and, his last fight, he was dominating Shogun for 3 rounds and was getting killed at the end. I wouldn't want another 5-round fight, especially if he's got such a long legendary career. You wouldn't want, 5-round wars all the time. It just seems like a very unintelligent thing to say.
So if you don't do UFC, like you said, I mean, you are a medalist, an Olympic medalist. I mentioned a Pan-American champion. Can you have a future in judo, or is this eventually where a lot of our martial artists are going to end up?
No, there is no real future in it, and thank God for MMA, because a lot of Olympic wrestlers and judoka and any other Olympic sport, they have some sort of professional outlet to go to. They didn't have before. I mean, I know of Olympic champions that are taxi drivers now.
Right.
Well, that's a good job, though. It's a cab. It's not. Okay, there's just, I'm sorry, Ronda, but there's worse things in the world. Ronda Rousey joining us right now on the Petros and Money Show on Fox Sports Radio. I got 3 words for you. Ready?
Ready.
Action movie star. Have you thought of it? You really are. Look, I know you're a great fighter. You're a great athlete. You don't become an Olympian without being that, and the UFC is a big deal athletically also. I realize that. But you are attractive. I'm sure you've been told that before.
Once.
Have you ever thought about being in an action movie, like beating up a guy like Van Damme or something?
I mean, I've done stunts before. Judo Gene LaBelle is actually one of my coaches, and to kind of pay my way a little bit in the MMA scene, I was doing some odd, stunt jobs on the side. So I love to do stunts if doing stunts with lines is something that comes up.
You perform fine here on Sports Talk Radio, and this is harder than being an action movie star, believe it or not.
You really think so?
Yeah, look at me.
Well, you know what? My biggest concern is this fight, and I'm just kind of letting everything happen organically.
Fair enough. And speaking of the fight, and I hate to do this, but like 17 people have asked me to ask you this. You've already said it on air that it's most fighters, like when we had Ricky Hatton on, and we said, do you have sex with your wife or whatever before you fight? He said, I don't like to get a leg over before a fight. And it's like, what's a leg over? But he was talking about intercourse. You have a different philosophy about it. I assume you're comfortable discussing it, that you do not abstain before fighting. Is that a correct thing to say?
Yeah, for women, it has been well known that non-abstinence tends to raise your testosterone.
Non-abstinence meaning you are engaging.
Well, how edited am I, dude? What do you want me to say?
Just go ahead. You say.
We got a 7-second delay if it gets really bad.
Don't get crazy, but
we don't want to hop on the good foot and do the bad thing.
There we go. That works.
That's awesome power reference right there.
Okay, well, good for you. Is there you have a significant other, or you're not just looking around?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Like, hey, I'm training. Hey, come over here.
That's the problem. I'm not gonna send out an ad or anything. I need to have a boyfriend or steady or something.
Right.
And don't at the moment, so I will just have to deal, I guess, without.
Okay. Well, we understand that.
Understand completely. How do you get to be an Olympian in judo? I mean, do you start at 5 and this is like a family activity, or it's something you enjoyed? Where does it start? Where did it start for you?
Well, my mom was the first American to ever win the World Championships in judo back in 1984.
That gets a round of applause.
And she did this while working as an engineer, getting her PhD, and a single mother. So she is absolutely unbelievable. And
seems like a champion
more
of a woman.
applause. Yeah, absolutely.
And she got a perfect score on the SATs and got a full ride to college. What do you know about my mama?
Wow.
Yeah, she rocks. Anyway, so we moved back to LA. We used to live in North Dakota. We moved back to LA, and she went to go see her old teammates. All opened up clubs of their own, and I went and tried it out. And I had a hair tie even that day. My hair was all crazy all over the place, and they were teasing me like, it's a lot more fun than swimming, huh? Because I used to be a swimmer, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is awesome. And then 6 years later, I was on the Olympic team.
That is an inspirational story. You are a Santa Monica Viking. You went to high school here locally.
I went to high school at
You're from Venice Beach, where crime meets art?
Yes. I grew up right on the border between the two, and I dropped out of high school at the beginning of my sophomore year. I'm not the least bit formally educated.
But you seem so polished.
I'm a student of the world.
There you go.
Yeah, University of Life, and your colors are black and blue. Now, we're going to go to break here.
Yep.
Howie Long is going to join us in the next hour, but we're going to have a few minutes.
I think we do. Can you hang around, or do you need to get home?
Are you going to call the play-by-play of her manhandling me for these listeners? Is that what we're
really
going to do?
Are we comfortable with that?
If he wants to jump on the table,
You are?
Okay, well, we could just go on the floor, but you can't break my arm. Because I have a son, I have to hold the baby. I'm serious.
How big is he? You need 2 hands for this kid?
Kind of. I'd like to be able to use both arms.
Audio armbar when we return. It is Ronda Rousey, and she is fighting, headlining UFC 157. It's Petros and Money live at the Fox Sports Studios.
It's much easier to consume the visual image than to read something.
It's Petros and Money on a We Just Won't Be Defeated Wednesday here on Fox Sports Radio, and we are live in the Fox Sports Studios, as in the exact same studio you watch your NFL on Fox every single Sunday. I believe I am manning the Kurt Menefee chair. P, you are sitting in the Terry Bradshaw chair, and in just a moment, we are going to be joined by the man who sits in the Howie Long chair, and that would be Howie Long.
Right.
But we do have to pay something off real quick that we promised right before the break.
We really do?
We really do.
I heard Howie was on hold.
He is on hold. I think he'll understand.
All right.
All we need is just a couple seconds here.
You call the play-by-play.
Ronda Rousey is headlining UFC 157. She is on set with us. She has a 6-0 record in the world of MMA. All 6 victories coming by
armbar.
Submission. Armbar. So she is going to perform said armbar, her signature move, on one former captain of the USC football team, rushed for 2,000 yards in a single season while at Peninsula High School.
Not at USC.
While at Peninsula High School. 13 touchdowns, though. in a single season, I believe, at USC, correct?
16 career.
There we go.
But you're doing well.
16 career. So here it is. 1, Petros J. Papadakis. V, 1, Ronda Rousey.
I am not going to fight back.
No. You're just going to get in the armbar and maybe describe how that's going.
Right. And also, I just want to say that this is karma coming back to me because remember, Gonzo, our listener,
Rowdy,
was put in the sleeper hold by Rowdy Piper.
and he went to sleep.
And it was supposed to be me.
Yeah.
And Gonzo had a sore throat for weeks.
He did.
And so,
I hope you don't have a sore arm. Now, are you just going to force him to submit? Is that the plan here?
Yes.
Can I just grab him?
Yeah, just
all right, so here she goes.
Just don't grab me violently.
Ronda's got him by the neck. She has pulled him down. She ripped her headphones out, and now she's in the armbar.
Yeah, that is a
very violent move.
Yeah.
And how's it feel right now?
I feel as if I'm being arrested.
Okay. All right. Is that the submission?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Submitted.
He is tapped
Right,
out. Round of applause.
Well done, Ronda. Thank you
It is
very
Ronda
much.
Rousey, February
Thank you.
23rd. Thank you, Ronda. We certainly appreciate it. And again, it is Ronda MMA, the website. She really, that was very forceful.
No, I deserved it.
I think if you would have done that to me instead of Petros, I would have just snapped in half or turned to dust or
but
something
Ronda,
along those lines.
be honest. The feeling of that tricep was almost like you were pushing on a tire or something very solid, right? Like that's a heck of a tricep. Almost like I was stung by a giant hornet back there, right?
Like a flat tire?
Oh, look at that. Thank you, Ronda.
Thanks, Ronda. All right. Good luck in the fight, by the way.
Thank you.
I am rooting for you. I'm going to buy that fight.
To heck with that
good
Liz
sport,
Carmucci.
man.
Do I
Thank
have
you,
to
bro.
buy that fight, or is it on Fox Network?
No, you got to buy it.
I'll
Pay-per-view.
buy it. Son of a. All right.
Fight's on me.
This man's Hall of